for your girl.
That's right, it's a podcast.
It's pop for your girl.
We got to go out.
Pop for your girl. It's pop for your girl. Hey, what's up? Welcome back to Pop for Your Girl, a place where women of color can feel seen, be heard, and get spiritually fed. Yes, you guys, I am your host, Wagoshi Alice Lewis here, and I am super excited to just be back with another episode, okay? And today's episode is one that it's gonna be bittersweet. I'm excited to do it because I feel like we've never done it here on this platform. However, we're gonna talk about some real things, some real life experiences that I have gone through. And so y'all already know the tea. We are talking about friendship breakups, okay, which is something that's always hard to do because some friendship breakups don't always end with like roses and, you know, a goodbye hug and I love you and see you later. No, like some breakups, you know, you just get distant. Sometimes you just, you know, never find the closure that you may be hoping to get or you may have thought you would have had. Some breakups just don't go that way. And so today I'm just super excited that we get to talk about that here. I get to talk to y'all, my pod besties, okay? I'm gonna start calling y'all my pod besties, okay? So those of y'all who have been tuning in, please let me know if this episode resonates with you, okay? So y'all already know, first of all, we always start each episode off with the Go Girl segment. And so on today's episode, we got a really good Go Girl. So our Go Girl on today's episode is, get ready, every girl, every woman out there, I want you to shout out your bestie. And if you don't have a bestie, it's okay. It's okay. I want you guys to say, shout out, you know, pod bestie, or say type pod bestie if you don't have a bestie, because I don't have a bestie, okay? So we gonna be each other's besties, okay? So type pod besties if you don't have a bestie, or shout out your bestie in the comments, okay? Because today's Go Girl, I want to spotlight every Black woman showing up with real love in friendships. And you know, we're gonna kind of get into some statistics a little bit later, but every Black woman showing up with real love in your relationships, in your friendships. You don't have to hate on your sister. You don't have to compete with your sister. You don't have to put her down secretively. You don't have to gossip about her behind her back. If you know you a real one like that, if you know you a real one, okay? I'm talking about the real ones. If you know you a real one, I want you to shout out your bestie, meaning like you ain't doing none of that, okay? Shout her out in the comments. And if you don't have a bestie, guess what? I ain't gossiping about you. I ain't talking about you. I'm here for your growth. I'm here for your encouragement. So guess what? You gonna be my bestie, okay? You gonna be my bestie, okay? So from now on, y'all will be known as my pod besties. And so every time I get on here, I'm gonna say, "What's up, pod besties? How y'all doing today? What's going on? You doing okay? You taking care of yourself? You getting enough vitamin C? You staying healthy? You taking walks, breathing, deep breathing." Like, I am here for your growth. I'm here to check on y'all. And so I just want you guys to truly be encouraged and shout out your besties on today, because there are some real ones out there. Even when society tries, you know, to put y'all against each other or put us against each other, guess what? We still here. We still showing up. We still holding on. And that is no small feat. That's no small feat. I just want to go into a stat moment really quick. Let me read this statistic to you guys. According to Psychology Today, nearly 70% of women experience at least one friendship breakup by age 30. And Black women are more likely to cite trust and emotional safety as reasons for friendship tension than any other group. Okay, so I just want to throw that out there, y'all. That's why today I'm giving the go girl to all my sisters out there that still have besties. If y'all still, being real to each other, loving on each other, y'all putting each other, holding each other accountable, making sure y'all living y'all best lives, making sure you reading your Bible together, making sure you drinking water together, making sure you exercising together, you keeping your sister and you holding each other accountable. That is no small feat, because according to the statistics, I'm over 30 and I can attest, I'm a part of this statistic. I have been through a best friend breakup, and it was very, very hard, y'all. And it's a lot of emotions that go into that. And the thing is, it's like, we cited that trust and emotional safety are reasons for some of those friendships coming to an end, and having those tensions within each other. So if you're not feeling emotionally safe with the individual, if you're not feeling like you really trust that individual, you're going to draw the line and be like, hey, our friendship is over because I don't feel safe with you. So you're not ending your friendship over cattiness, okay? And you're not, saying that, you didn't deeply love this person. So I really want to affirm that we are not catty, okay? We are complex individuals. We love trust, okay? We love believing in other people. We love to trust other people, and we love deeply, okay? And that's okay. And so when that love we love deeply, and that love, when lost, it hurts deeply. And so so because we love so deep, we can allow ourselves to be hurt deep. Okay. And so that's what that statistic is saying, that, we trust and we want emotional safety. And when we don't have it, we get hurt deeply, so much so that we can end a relationship with another individual. But going back to the Go Girls, to all my sisters that are still standing, all my sisters that are still standing with their besties, and y'all still loving on each other, and y'all still able to do this thing in relationship and not be hurt, okay? I want to shout you out. Shout outs to you. Go girl. Keep going. Keep building your relationship. Keep not letting the world put y'all against each other. Y'all are here for each other. Y'all are an encouragement to other women who want to be in relationship with another woman. Y'all are encouraging us, okay? And so I love that. And to the ones that drifted apart, I have a message for you guys that I wrote down I really want to share. You were still real, still sacred, and guess what? You're still a part of that person's story. So you're still real, you're still sacred to that individual, and you're still a part of that person's story, okay? And so I really, really, really want to make that clear, because so many times, even when you go through a friendship breakup, it's like, you think that, oh, that person doesn't care about me anymore. They don't love me anymore. They don't think about me anymore. No, I went through a friendship breakup like almost 5 years ago, and I still think about my sis. I still think about her. I still think about my then goddaughter. We don't have a relationship now, but I still think about her. I still think to this day about our relationship and the things that we did growing up, and all of those different things. And it's not to say that that individual and that time that we spent together was still sacred. It was still memorable, okay? We still love you, okay? You're still a part of my story, okay? You're still a part of my story. And so I really, really want to make that clear. And y'all may be asking, like, why is this episode even coming up, okay? Y'all know the Petro Weave segment, we always try to break different stereotypes. And so the stereotype today is that, once you've had those type of friendship breakups that, we talked about earlier, the statistics that Black women are more likely to cite trust and emotional safety as reasons for friendship tension and more than in any other group. We have to really look at that and say, what's going on? Why are we experiencing this tension with each other? Why are we experiencing, distrust? And could it be that us as Black women, it's time for us to step up and do better? So in the Patch Your Weave segment, the call to action is, I know you are a best friend right now, or you may not be a best friend to anyone right now, but I want to break the stereotype of lack of trust. I want to break that stereotype of experiencing tension and not being able to trust your sis. In this moment, I want you to write down, what are some things that have allowed me to kind of stray away. You might be feeling some distance in your relationship with your sister. You might be feeling some lack of trust in the relationship with your sister. You might be feeling some uneasy moments, like you can't go to her. You can't build on your relationship any further. She was your best friend, but you feel y'all drifting apart. You feeling like you can't trust her as much. You can't say things to her. You don't know if she's talking about you behind your back. Well, in this time, I want this to be a time where you actually challenge that. You actually take control of your thoughts and you challenge that before it gets any worse, before you go into, really feeling like, okay, I can't be friends with this individual. We want to break the stereotype of us always being the ones to cite lack of trust and friendship tension. We want to break that, okay? So no longer are we going to feel this tension consistently in our relationships. And if you are feeling it, figure out a way to dismantle that feeling. Some of y'all may be feeling it for real, and it might be real. And I'm not telling you to stay in nothing that's toxic. Clock it, okay? I'm not telling you to stay in nothing that's toxic, okay? I'm saying that sometimes they may have did something that they don't even know that they did. They may have hurt you in a way they don't even know that you really hurt like that. They thinking like, oh, she good. You know what I'm saying? And so at this point in time, this is a moment for you to take the time to really see, how can I go to my sis and dismantle this lack of trust that I'm feeling from a situation that occurred between me and her. Okay, that's number one. And so going back, y'all may be wondering, where is this coming from? Why am I doing this episode? Well, last week I had a dream about my ex-best friend. And in the dream, it was just so real. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to unpack it. But it reminded me that sometimes when you go through something like that, it still lingers, like a loss of a friendship, a loss of a relationship. It still lingers. It still hangs on sometimes. Sometimes you may be doing good. You may be doing great. And then all of a sudden that person shows up in your mind, in your thoughts, in your dreams, in your subconscious, right? And so sometimes like you may be thinking like, well, I moved on from that relationship. I'm good. I'm healed. But then here comes a dream. You know what I mean? And so sometimes your loss still lingers. And so I wanted to just have a moment of real talk with you guys, because I know that if I'm still having dreams and it's been 5 years, maybe some of y'all may be still having dreams about old relationships and best friendships and things that you went through in the past with your girlfriend, your close friend. And I'm talking about this person. I could tell them anything. Okay. I could literally tell them anything. When I got pregnant with my son, they were the first person that I called. Matter of fact, I took my pregnancy test with this individual. Okay. So we were super duper close. Okay. When she got pregnant with her daughter, I was there for her. I was her daughter's godmother. And it was definitely relationship there. Okay. And the thing is, with our relationship, there wasn't like a cut dry point. Like, I can't pinpoint any moment really where we just broke up and said, hey, I don't want to be your friend no more. No, there was some type of toxicity. I'm not going to say what the things happened or whatever, because I don't want to pull it out there, because I do feel like that friendship was still sacred. But there were some things that happened that led me to see like, okay, we're not going in the same direction. Now, did I ever think that we would just ever be in a point in our lives where we were not friends? No, I never thought that. It never crossed my mind to where this person would actually just never be in my life ever again. That's number one. Number two, sometimes, there's no blow up. There's no real big blow up. Like I said, I can't go back to like one moment in our friendship where, as friends, as sisters, y'all already know, like, you gonna argue over little petty stuff. You gonna get into it. You gonna be like, hey, I don't think you should be with that guy. Like, y'all remember my abusive relationship episode where I talked about that, how Cassie's Diddy relationship triggered my relationship. She was there for the whole thing. She was there for the whole relationship from start to finish, okay? And so she was telling me, no, I don't think you should be with him. You need to leave him. Da, 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 da. We would argue about that. There were times where she would do things that, didn't make sense to me, and I would call her out on it. Like, we would always go back and forth. We got into several fights before. We've gotten into arguments and things like that. And so the thing is, even through all of those things, there was never one big blow up that was just so massive that I felt like we would not be friends again over that. Okay. And it just was more of like, if I could describe it, a slow fade away. That's what it was. It was like a slow fade away. We would go days without talking. Then we would go months without talking. Then we would go almost 6 months to a year without talking. And then out of the blue, I would reach out. Out of the blue, she would reach out. And I think that kind of lingering, like, slow fade, it could kind of cause things to hurt even more, because now it's not really in your face. You just know you're used to having somebody there that's not there anymore, right? Like, you're used to being able to call this person, and now you call them and you can't really click and relate. So you don't pick up the phone to call again. And so you feel like, oh, I'm going through this. I wish she could be here for me, but she can't. You know what I mean? Or she's not going to understand. She's not going to get it. I think there were a lot of different dynamics. Like, I ended up getting married. She did not get married at the time. I'm not really sure where she's at right now in her life. But there were life changes. You know what I mean? And so things that I would need to express or talk about, I didn't really feel like she could relate to my expression in those times. Like, if I tried to talk to her about my marriage, it wouldn't really feel like, she understood where I was coming from. And so it started to be like a slow fade in our relationship, and it really started to hurt even more. And so let's talk about the grief, because this is the thing, like, when you're going through that time, you may not even be looking at it as grief, but grieving a friendship is real. Okay. Grieving a friendship is real. And so there was one time where, I came across her. It was probably like a year or two ago when I came across her number, and I was just like, you know what, let me just reach out and see how they're doing. And I reached out. I was like, hey, just checking in on you, see how you're doing. Da, 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 da. And this was the moment where it was just like, okay, I know not to reach out anymore. She literally texted me and said, hey, you're not a friend to me. And like, you don't have to check on us. You've showed, different things. She just said, basically, that was her moment to just be like, don't reach out to me no more. We're good. We're not friends anymore. And so in that moment, now I really fully started to move into the grieving process of like, this door, this relationship, this everything, it is closed, and it's not, we're not going to go back, and it is what it is. And so I responded. I think I said, okay, I understand. And I wish you the best. And that was it. And so, there's confusion sometimes, there's shame sometimes, there's guilt. I know I was confused. I was thinking like, hey, what was really the moment? Like, she did say some things in the text, but I was like, well, what was the straw that broke the camel's back? Like, I didn't really know. And I probably won't ever really know what the straw was that broke the camel's back. Okay. There's shame where, people ask about our friendship. And it's just like, sometimes when people ask, I shrink and I'm like, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I shrink and I'm like, and since then I've experienced other friendship breakups since then. Now, this was like the best friend breakup, but I've experienced like, people in my life and then they're no longer in my life. I've experienced that since then. But I think the grief that came with this and even, the guilt of feeling like, well, I must have did something wrong. What did I do wrong that really, really hurt her? And, there's some things that come to my mind, but I will never really know specifically what those things are. And so this is a reflection question for you guys. You, like I said, you wonder, did I do enough? Did I say too much? Should I have reached out earlier? You wonder all of those things. And so my reflection question is, what friendship have you grieved but never gave yourself permission to mourn? Okay. Like, what friendships have you grieved, but you never gave yourself permission to mourn? And so, sometimes mourning is a little bit more out loud. It's a little bit more paying tribute, homage, crying, like really like, in a mourning state, like just lock yourself in a room and just say, in this moment, I'm going to look at all of our old pictures. I'm going to really like put some closure on this and I'm going to mourn it. And that way it will help me to move on. And so, of course, now that we talked about grief and everything like that, y'all already know we're going to go into the faith-filled segment. We're going to fill y'all up with some faith, okay? Because I don't know about y'all, but even for me, just talking about that was a little bit tough, okay? Like, I ain't even going to lie. Like, I'm starting to, like, get sad all over again. Like, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, I'm smiling, but I had to pull myself back. Okay. So we going to come back into some faith field real quick, because I know, like, if you've been through a friendship breakup, you may be thinking about that individual right now. Okay. If you've been through relational breakups, it may not have been your best friend, but anytime you go through a relational breakup and someone is in your life and now they are not in your life anymore, that's tough. Even a divorce, a real breakup where that individual was your best friend and they're there with you every day. Like, you got to give yourself time to mourn. And so now I want to give you guys some faith filled scriptures that will help you to heal from your friendship grief. Okay. So let's look at Proverbs 17 and 17. Let's look at that really quick. And I want to actually pull up the full scripture. Y'all, sorry. I should have had this done. But y'all, I should have had this done. Okay. And it says, a friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. A friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. And so sometimes love remains even when the friendship doesn't. And so how can that be possible? Like, you may not be in relationship with that individual anymore, but does it mean that you don't love them? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not in relationship with her anymore, but I still love her. Like, I truly do. I still love her. I still love her daughter. I still love her for all the times that she's, been there for me. I do. So a friend loves at all times. That's really the part that we're focusing on. So even though you're not in relationship with her, it doesn't necessarily mean that you don't love that individual, because if you ever was in a point where you could call that individual a friend, you should always have love for them. You should always be able to move on in your life with love for that individual. So I don't know what relationship breakup you've experienced in your life, but even through that toxicity, that madness, that chaos, the hurt, the things that they did, the gossip, the fear, all of the things, you should still be able to find love in your heart for that individual. Okay. My next scripture that I want to go to is Ecclesiastes, and we're going to read verse 1, and it says, to everything there, not verse 1, Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1. To everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under heaven. So there is a time for best friendship. There is a time for y'all to be in relationship. There's a time for y'all to love on each other. There's a time to embrace. If you keep reading, it kind of goes into that. There's a time to embrace. I think it's verse 5. When you go to verse 5, there's a time to embrace. There's a time to refrain from embracing. There's a time when y'all are going to be like this, and there's a time where y'all may be like this, and that's okay. My husband called me out when we did our last Crazy Praise Prayer. He put me on blast, and he was like, my wife loves the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and I do love the Real Housewives of Atlanta. That is my show. Okay. Yes, I'm a born again Christian. I'm saved and all those things, but I still love my Real Housewives of Atlanta, period. And so this last season, Portia and Shamia, they went through a friendship breakup. And for me, watching it triggered certain things. And I had to, and honestly, that might be even why I'm having my friendship dreams. But it triggered certain things in me, and I felt for them as they were going through that. And the thing is, it's like, reading these scriptures, knowing that you're okay. It's okay to go through that, Portia. It's okay to go through that, Shamia. It's okay where there was a time where y'all was like this, and now y'all are like this. It's okay, because the Bible tells us there will be times to embrace and there will be times to refrain. There will be times where you feel like, y'all are thick as thieves, and there will be times where, it don't have to be you side-eyeing your sis. You don't have to be side-eyeing your sis, okay? It ain't that. But you just like, I need some space. I need some space. I need to draw back. I need to pull back. I need to, revert. Whatever the case may be, let me take that time for myself and let me be at peace with that. So it may not be shade. It might just be the season. You know what I mean? So it don't mean that you being shady by not being as close, but it's just ain't our season where you feel me? All right. Okay. So Psalms 34 and 18, Psalms 34:18, the Lord is close to the brokenhearted. And that's that scripture where it's like, even in your grief, when you're going through this time and you're grieving your friendship, and like, hey, I want to call her. I want to pick up the phone and share this moment with her. I want to share this time with them. I want to share this time with, all of the things that we're going through. Like, I see you winning, and I wish I was there to cheer you on. I see you going through your hardship, and I wish I was there to comfort you. Like, you know what I mean? But just know, in that moment, the Lord is close to the brokenhearted. And so even in friendship loss, God is near, and grief does not scare God. He is right by our side. He is there for us. Okay. And so I want to give you guys a little bit of encouragement that I wrote down. You are not crazy for still caring. You are not weak for still wondering, and you are not alone in this ache. Friendship breakups leave quiet wounds, but God sees everyone. Okay. So there may be some quiet wounds there. You may be thinking like, man, I still care about my friend. I wish I could call them. I wish I could be there for them. I wish I could But you're not crazy. You're not crazy for feeling like that. And so I really want to just take the time to validate y'all and know that let you know that in your friendship breakup, God still sees all of that. What does the scripture say? Psalms 34 and 18. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted. So you got to believe that and you got to know that. Okay. All right. So, sis, have you ever lost a friend and didn't know how to grieve it? Okay. I want you guys to send this to someone and let them know, like, if you've ever lost a friend and you don't know how to grieve it, this is the episode that you need to watch. Okay. And so if you are in a place where you're not really sure how to grieve, how to cope, I want you to take those 3 scriptures: Proverbs 17:17, a friend loves at all time, Ecclesiastes 3:1, which there's a time and place for everything, and Psalms 34:18, that God is near to the brokenhearted. And I want you guys to repeat those scriptures on a daily basis. I want you to give yourself time to mourn your relationship and mourn the shared times together, okay? Give yourself that. But let's unpack this together. Write in, share your experience with me. Comment down below if you've ever gone through that. If you don't know how to grieve, I want to hear it, because just know y'all are my pod besties from now on. So, y'all can share things with me, and we are going to start to form a community, because at the end of the day, we can't do this thing by ourselves. We got to lift each other up. We got to show up for each other. We got to be friends for each other, okay? We got to be friends with each other, okay? And so, I want you guys to be here. This episode was a part of our wealthy summer that we are continuing to keep going all summer long. And so, like I said, we are challenging y'all to grow, okay? And a part of that growth is to initiate, number one, from the Patch Your Weave segment, where we talked about, breaking the stereotype of the fact that, we're always the ones to cite that trust and emotional safety are reasons for friendship tension than any other group. Why? We got to break that. We got to dismantle that. Okay. And so, we got to start to, challenge ourselves to grow. And so if you are still blessed enough to have a bestie, go to her today and say, hey, I'm feeling this tension. I'm feeling this rockiness. I'm feeling this whatever. And let's get to the bottom of it. Let's see how we can move forward as friends, as besties, as whatever we got to do to heal, to grow, and to allow ourselves to have a wealthy friendship. Okay. Like I said, wealthy summer. Grow. And if you don't have a best friend, sis, I am praying for you. Just like I'm praying for me. I pray that God send me a best friend. I pray that God bless me with a best friend, with the best friend that I don't have to hide from. I can hold accountable. They can hold me accountable. I can tell them when they wrong. They can tell me when I'm wrong, and maybe I do have a best friend. I just haven't, tapped into it yet, because I have great friends. I have friends that show up to me. My friend Kia, shout outs to you, sis. I shout you out because you show up for the podcast. You show up, you showed up for my grand opening the other day. You helped me blow up the balloons. I have great friends. I have some really, really, really great friends. My friend Latrinka, she's always there. And I pray that it's not just how I want to be a best friend. And so I want God to show me, like, these people that are great friends to me. How can I be best friends to y'all? How can I be best friends in your life? And so, like my husband, I don't know if that count. Mm-hmm. It's like when as a believer, when you get married, people say, oh, your husband is your best friend. And so, y'all let me know how y'all feel about that. Do y'all feel like y'all husbands is y'all best friend? And if so, why? Because, I'm like, it's some things that you could talk about with your sis that you might not really be able to talk about with your husband. Not that you can't talk about it with them, but it's been times where I try to talk about it with my husband and he ain't going to give me that he don't clock it like how, your sis gonna clock it. He don't be on your like, yes, like, he don't gas you up in that. You know what I mean? So y'all tell me what y'all think. Like, husbands, do they gas y'all up the way you need to be gassed up in a moment? Or, do you look for your best friend to get that type of energy? Or like, tell you, hey, do I need to wear this color? Okay, like, because I feel like my husband, he gonna say I look good in anything, because he's one of those that he don't want to like try to like make me feel bad. But your sis, they gonna be like, you don't need to wear that. Like, your red is not your color, sis. Like, you need to put on some teals, some blues, some light colors. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna have your melanin popping. You know what I'm saying? But your husband, they just be scared to say like, anything to you. So I don't know. Just let me know. Is your husband your best friend? How you feeling out here in these streets, in these bestie streets? But for the conclusion of the episode, I'm so thankful to be here with you guys through Wealthy Summer. If you're not yet on the Wealthy email list, you can join the link. Tap the link below to join, where you get emails of the podcast episodes, so whenever I'm dropping an episode. Join the Wealth Tribe email community right now. And as you guys know, my clothing line, Frantic, we have just opened up our store in Atlanta. This is one of our t-shirts, More Than Melanin. If you want to shop with us, the link is down below, or pull up on us in Atlanta. I'm so thankful for you guys, my pod besties. Thank you guys for being here. And I can't wait till the next episode I get to chat with you guys again. All right, y'all. Go girls, to all of y'all living y'all best besties life. And to y'all, those of y'all praying for a bestie, guess what? You just found one in me. And I hope I found one in you. So I'll keep you lifted as you keep me lifted. Peace out. Bye. For your girl.
That's right. It's a podcast.
It's pop for your girl.
We got to go out.
Pop for your girl.